Hey friends, and welcome to the Girl Means Business podcast. I'm your host, Kendra Swalls, a photographer and educator on a mission to help you find your passion, power, and purpose through entrepreneurship. So let's jump right into today's episode because this girl means business. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Girl Means Business podcast. Thank you so much for being here this week. I am really excited about this week's episode as we dive into Instagram Reels. Now, before we get there, one quick note. A couple weeks ago, I put out a couple polls on my Instagram stories about this podcast. One thing I noticed was that the majority of you said that you liked listening to shorter episodes, things you could quickly and easily consume. A lot of my interview style episodes are longer because I want to give you as much content and value as I can possibly pack into each episode. But I also realized that a lot of you are listening to these on the go with kids in small pockets of time that you have available. And you don't always have an hour plus to sit and listen to these episodes. So I'm going to sprinkle in some of these shorter episodes every so often just to kind of balance out some of the longer ones we have on here as well. So today's episode is going to be one of those kind of short and sweet episodes where I give you as much content as I can in a much faster paced environment. So having said that, let's go ahead and jump right into our episode for today. All right, guys, as I mentioned before, we are talking all about Instagram Reels. Now, this is something that I have recently jumped on the bandwagon for, and I am loving everything about Instagram Reels. So if you're new to Instagram Reels, let me kind of tell you a little bit about how they work and what they are. So then we'll get into the 5 reasons why you need to be using them as part of your social media strategy. So Instagram Reels is Instagram's answer to the TikTok app. When TikTok came around, to be perfectly honest, I had zero interest in getting involved with TikTok. It seemed like it was not for my generation. It was not anything I really was interested in. I don't love video a whole lot. I'm learning to love it more. But at the time I was like, I have zero interest in posting this content. And I didn't think it was going to translate into building my community, which I'm doing on Instagram. And so I just didn't really jump on that bandwagon. Well, when Instagram launched Reels as their answer to the TikTok trend, and I started seeing how other entrepreneurs were using it to grow their business and to build their community, I got really interested. So I started really consuming Reels to begin with. So Reels are short, 15 to 30 second, which I think they've just increased it to 60 seconds. They're short little video clips. A lot of times it's, fun, little engaging, either educational, entertaining pieces of content that people are putting out into Instagram to help build their following, to help build awareness of their brands, or just to entertain people. Now, one common misconception about Instagram Reels is that in order to create an Instagram Reel, you have to do a cheesy TikTok dance. And that's just not the case. If you scroll through Reels on Instagram, you're going to see a mix of people doing silly little dances. You're also going to see people talking, sharing content that doesn't even involve showing their face on a video. There's so many different types of Instagram Reels that you can create that are going to add value and create a community around your brand that you don't have to just do silly dances. That is not what Reels has to be. If you want to do silly dances, I say absolutely go for it. If that's not your style, then don't do it. For me personally, I was adamant. I was like, I'm not dancing on a video. I'm not going to do anything silly and goofy. And then fast forward to 50 Reels later, and I'm doing silly dances on a video. But I will say, the more you get into it, the more you do it, the easier and the more fun it gets. Because I will be the first to tell you, I did not want to do Reels. I did not want to get on video. I did not think I had anything to put out there for Reels. But as I started consuming them, and as I started coming up with ideas, and as I started actually doing them and seeing the result of using them, I am now 100% addicted, and I absolutely love doing them. Okay, so to create a Reel, it's super easy. In your Instagram app, you'll go click on the plus sign in the top right corner. It's going to pull up your camera roll, and its default setting is to put something onto your feed. At the bottom, you're going to see a little scroll across where it's going to say post, story, reels, or live. So you'll just scroll over to reels, and then it will start to look similar to as if you were posting an Instagram story. But you're going to have the option to choose your length between 30, 15, 30, and some people now have 60 seconds. They're rolling that out. You'll be able to add music, add filters, set a timer, all of those things. Now, the first time I got into Instagram Reels in the app, I was completely overwhelmed. It felt like it was a lot, and I didn't know how to edit the videos. I didn't really know what I was doing. And so my suggestion would be to just play around. You don't actually have to publish anything the first time you do it. Just record some videos, try a couple different things, go on YouTube, look up on, there's plenty of people sharing tutorials on how they create Instagram Reels. Start looking at what other people are doing. If you start scrolling through your Reels feed, you're going to get a lot of ideas. Now, the way you get to your Reels feed is when you go into Instagram on your explore page in the very middle. This is a pretty good sign that this is where Instagram wants you to be going. Right in the middle, there is a little icon that looks like a movie clapper with a play button. That is where the Reels are. It's right there, right where your thumb automatically goes, right in the center of the screen. If you click on that, it's going to take you to the Reels kind of explore page, and you just kind of scroll through different Reels. And so you can go in and you can start gathering ideas. You can save Reels. If I see one that I like, whether it's because of the music, or maybe they had a really creative way of using a certain song or a voiceover, or anything that sparks an idea, I save it. You can also save audio from different Reels. So if someone has a voiceover that you really like, you can click on the audio and you can save that so that you can use it in your own Reels. So there are tons of tutorials. If you go onto YouTube or search on Google, or you can send me a DM over at Girl Means Business. I'd be happy to walk you through a little bit of a Reels tutorial. There's lots of things that'll walk you through how to create these. Now, I will say the best thing to do is just start recording. Again, this is not anything that the world has to see, but just start playing around with different music, different sounds, learning how to match your voice up with the overlay of the audio, play around with different filters and things like that, timing. Creating a good reel does not require using a ton of editing. Some of my favorite reels, the ones that I've saved, are as simple as putting your phone on a stand with a ring light or holding it up in front of you with good lighting from a window and giving some advice, sharing 3 tips for fill in the blank. It does not require you to do a funny dance. It does not require you to put on a dog and pony show. It just requires you to put yourself on the camera or share your screen. I've seen several that are like Canva hacks, and they'll share a video of their computer screen going through the Canva site and showing a tip or a trick. There are so many ways that you can make this super simple. So once you've played around, you've got some experience, and you've recorded something you like, put it out there. I cannot stress this enough, guys. I know it's scary. The first time I put a reel out, I was like, oh gosh, this is awful. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. The more you do it, the less you stress about every little thought, every little question of what are people going to think. Once you start seeing people responding to your reels, it gets easier. I promise. This is coming from experience. The first time I put a reel out there, I had zero clue what I was doing. The more I've done it, and I have tons of reels now, it's so easy now. It becomes like second nature to think about what kind of reel can I do. I will batch create them all in one day for an entire week, and I will put them out there. And the more you do it, the less you stress about it, and the more you're going to start seeing the benefits. So let's walk through those benefits. Let's talk about the 5 reasons why I feel like Instagram Reels are a super powerful tool for your business right now. Number 1 is reach. Instagram Reels gets way higher the reach than just posting content to your feed. Now, here is why. Instagram, first of all, if you're using a new feature in Instagram, they are going to prioritize your content. So Reels is their new shiny object. So if you're using their new shiny object, they are going to reward you for that by pushing your content out to more people. And unlike putting content on your feed, the reels kind of go out into the masses. So with content on your feed, it's only shown to people within your community, people that follow you, and maybe some people you reach through hashtags. But with reels, when you publish that reel, it kind of goes out into the sphere of reels that are being shared. And so Instagram is saying, okay, you've put a reel out. Let me see who I can send it to. And if they engage, if they react with it, then I'm going to push it out to even more people. So unlike posting content or videos to your feed, your reel is going to have a much larger reach. Now, I do highly recommend when you publish a reel, also have it shared to your feed. Now, here's the reason for that. Because while it may go out into the Reels section of Instagram, you also want it to show up in the feed as your followers are scrolling. So if it goes onto your main Instagram feed, when your followers are scrolling through their post, your reel is going to pop up in their scroll. So make sure when you publish it also to your Instagram feed. So let me share with you my experience with the reach of Instagram Reels. At the time of recording this, I have around 2,900 followers on my Instagram page. My highest viewed reel has over 4,500 views. That is roughly 1,600 more views than the number of followers I have on my account. There is not a single post on my Instagram feed that has ever reached 1,600 more people than those that are following me. My average Instagram views on a reel is around 1,400. Again, that's roughly half of the followers that I currently have on my feed. If you post a static image to your Instagram feed, roughly 2 to 4% of your followers are probably going to see it or engage with it. So by posting reels, I'm getting much larger reach than I would just posting content to my feed. And I'm also getting a lot more engagement, which brings me to reason number 2, which is you're going to get more engagement. And that is something that Instagram values. It's not so much how many people are seeing it, but how many people are engaging with it. And Instagram Reels are highly engaging. Here's why. People get bored really easily. So think about the progression of social media. It started with just posting words. I mean, we used to be able to go on Twitter and Facebook and just written content would get people's attention. And then we got bored with that. So we moved on to photos. And then we got bored with that. So we moved on to long form video. And then we got bored with that. So now we're on to short form video. So right now, this is what people are engaging with. This is what people are taking in and consuming a lot of. And if you think about it, you hear people talk about like scrolling through TikTok, and that's how they do it with Reels. They just scroll from one to the next, one to the next, one to the next. And it's this kind of mindless scrolling. But if you can be the one that they're scrolling through, you're going to get engagement. People are going to tap that like button. They're going to comment on something that you said or done in a video. They are highly engaging. So the reach is really great. But what's even more powerful is that engagement, because that is the next step in getting somebody to interact with more of your content. And so a lot of times I know I personally will go in there, and if it's a reel that I like and I start seeing the same person's reels showing up, I will click on their name. I will go look at all of the reels they have created. I will see who are you and what is it that you do? And I might hit that follow button. So that engagement piece is really, really powerful. Number 3, this is a really great way to build that know, like, and trust factor. You've heard me say it on here on the podcast. You've heard me talk about it on social media. Know, like, and trust is everything to building a business. You have to get that know, like, and trust factor. Video and Instagram Reels or TikTok videos, those are the easiest and fastest way for people to get to know you and your personality. Going back to the idea of you don't have to do silly dances. If your personality is that you are calm and relaxing, and you love to talk about really natural remedies for things and essential oils, do that on those reels, and people are going to follow you, and they're going to love that because they connect with that. If you're high energy and you want to be like a talk show personality and you are going to do silly dances, do that. If you want to show off the crazy side of mom life, or you want to show behind the scenes of your business, do it. whatever it is that's going to show off who you are, people are going to connect with. My number one video on Reels is a video I created where I did a comparison, sort of an Instagram versus reality of what I thought working from home with kids would be like versus what it's like. And in the first clip, I'm sitting at my desk, I'm working, my daughter's in the chair beside me, reading quietly, we're kind of smiling at each other. And then it cuts to me hiding under the desk in my pajamas with a glass of wine and my laptop, and she comes rolling in on one of like her little Tykes car, being silly. And people loved it. I had more engagement, more comments. People were like, yes, that's exactly how I feel. It was literally just a spur of the moment. Let's try this and see what happens. And that's the one that I've had the most reaction from. So people are starting to get to know who I am as a person, away from things like the pretty pictures on my feed or even the small little snippets they see in my stories. It's just one more way to build that know, like, and trust. Video in particular is huge. Video is the best and fastest way to build that know, like, and trust because people can see your face. They can hear your voice. It's not just this cute little picture of you smiling. It's your accent. It's your inflections. It's your silly faces. It's the things that you do that make people go, oh, I really want to get to know her better. So don't be afraid of putting yourself on video because it's going to help people feel more connected to you. All right, number 4 is it's easier to get on the explore page. Before when you put content on your feed, you had to use hashtags to kind of get on the explore page, or you had to have thousands and thousands of followers. But with Instagram Reels, it's so much easier to get on that explore page because it is all about that reach and engagement. If you create a video that people really like and they start sharing it or they start engaging with it, you're more likely to be added to that explore page, which is like the golden ticket of Instagram. That's how these Reels go viral, is they end up on the explore page. And let me side note here about viral videos. I have seen people with less than 1,000 followers on Instagram have viral Reels. Okay, let me say that again. People with less than 1,000 followers have had viral Reels on Instagram because they're creating content that people are engaging with. You don't have to have tens of thousands of followers to have a reel go viral. You just have to keep creating content that people are going to want to engage with. Which brings me to my last topic, number 5, longevity. This is one of my favorite things about Reels, is that I have seen Reels that have been posted, and within the first couple of days, they maybe get a couple hundred likes. And then 4 or 5 weeks later, all of a sudden, they blow up and they go viral. Whereas when you put something on your feed, it kind of just disappears. Nobody really goes back to it unless they happen to be scrolling through your feed. But with Reels, because of the way the algorithm works and Instagram's trying to push these Reels, they are going to kind of recycle these Reels content. And you never know when one of your Reels that you posted 4 or 5 weeks ago is going to recirculate somewhere. Somebody's going to say, oh, I really like this. And they're going to share it. And it creates this kind of spiral. And you may have a video go viral. You never know. So the longevity of Reels is really great because it's not something like a story that disappears in 24 hours. It's not on your feed where it kind of gets lost in the shuffle. It is something that people were going to come back to, or someone is saving it because they really liked it. And then maybe they come back to it a little while later and they're like, oh, that was really good. Let's push that out there again. So Reels right now, the downside of Reels is there's not a whole lot of insights to them. We don't have analytics like we have with our post feed, our story feeds. So it's hard to know for sure, how people are finding our Reels or how they're performing other than the likes, the comments, the views. So if you're someone who likes the analytics side of things, unfortunately, that's not available at the moment, hopefully in the future, but they're still kind of rolling out new things with Reels. So we should see it sort of coming at some point so that we'll know a little bit more about how people are finding us. All right, so a quick recap, 5 reasons why Instagram Reels can help you grow your business. 1, they get a much larger reach than content you're posting on your feed or in your stories. The engagement is through the roof. People are bored with photos and text and cute quotes and graphics, they want to see something entertaining, they're going to scroll through those Instagram reels. They're going to engage a lot more faster. The know, like, and trust factor. People love connecting with you through video. So using reels will help you build that know, like, and trust factor way faster than regular images or even sometimes story posts. It's much easier to be found on that explore page, helping you reach a larger audience. And reels videos have a longer shelf life than just regular posts on your feed. So they will come back to life at any point. You never know when. All right, guys, that is our conversation around Instagram Reels. Hopefully it has inspired you to create your first reel. If you have not created a reel before and you decide to make one, please tag me or share it with me, send it to me. I would be more than happy to reshare it and spread it out to everybody else, help to share the love on your reel. If you've been using Reels for a while and you have any expert tips, please send them my way because I'm always excited to learn new things. I'm also thinking about creating a Reels tutorial or doing a masterclass video series for Reels. If that is something that you're interested in, send me a DM over on Girl Means Business on Instagram and let me know, and I will start putting that together if it's something that you think you might enjoy and learn from. All right, guys, I hope you have a great week. I hope you enjoyed this little short and sweet episode. I'm not going to lie, it's kind of hard for me to keep them short and sweet, but I'm trying my best. So hope you enjoyed it. Hope you were able to get a lot of value from it. And I will see you back here next week, same time, same place.